In this video, I want to explain you how to manage Kafka on Kubernetes in 3 simple steps. Our first step is to set up Kubernetes, and our second step is to set up a 3 broker Kafka cluster and then remove one of the broker and then see if the cluster is working as expected. And step 3, this is the most important one. We'll take off 2 brokers and then we'll add 2 new brokers and then see if the cluster is expected working as expected. All right, let's go for a demo. All right, so the first step is to set up my current cluster. My current cluster is already set up to save some time, and I have also tainted a couple of nodes. Get nodes. That's because I cannot add new nodes to the kind cluster. So what I'm trying to do is I have tainted these 2 nodes and I will set up a 3 node Kafka cluster on these 3 worker nodes, and then we'll try to take these 2 nodes out, and then we will try to bring these 2 nodes, and then see if the cluster is working as expected. All right, so I'm going to follow this guide that I already have. The steps are already done. So I'm going to apply the Kafka configuration here because it will take some time. Oh, kubectl create namespace Kafka. It's not there. So, and then I'm going to apply Kafka kubectl get paths -n Kafka hyphen. So this will take some time. Meanwhile, let's try to understand what's happening here. Right. So I am trying to run Kafka as a stateful sets. Obviously, I am running on 3 replicas, and if you can come down, I'm trying to have max q as 2 topology spread constraints to make sure one pod is sitting on one node, if not um, on 2 nodes. This configuration ensures that not all 3 pods are running on a single worker node. Ideally, this should be one, but when I tried to do it with one, I faced some issues, so I changed this queue to 2. I'm using this Docker image, and these are the ports that I'm exposing on the container. These are the configuration settings that I have. I'm using 1 GB storage from the local storage that I have, and we are also having this service which is exposing port 9092, and we are also exposing node port 30,092, which we are not using anyways. Right. So I hope this is done. kubectl get paths -n Kafka. It's still setting up. Meanwhile, let's go on. Let's check with these 2 steps if this is working as expected. So 2 of them are up. Third one is taking time. All right. So what I'm trying to do is connect to my Kafka 0 pod. kubectl get pods -n Kafka. All right, the cluster is up and running. All right, let's connect to the first Kafka pod, and then let's quickly create a topic. The topic is called my topic, and we are and our bootstrapping server is our service, which is Kafka-SBC. Right. So I have just created a topic, and now I'm listing the topic. I'm just making sure this topic is available. It is available. Now let's go to another terminal and then connect to my second Kafka pod, and then we'll try to produce some data on this topic. Let's say this is my first message. Okay, and let's try to consume it. Let's have the consumer here. Let's try to send the message again. Test one and see if this is coming up here. Yeah, test one is coming up, right? So I'm able to do this. Everything is working as expected. Now, as we planned, let's drain one of the node so that it's kind of removing one of the worker node so that and we'll check if everything is working as expected. All right. So before that, I would like to do this. I would like to describe what's the current status of my topic. Okay, let me disconnect. So my topic has is my leader is running for the partition. The leader is running on zero. Leader is on zero, which is worker node, worker zero, and then the replicas are on 0, 1, and 2, and ISR is in sync replicas, which means anything on leader 0 is also available on 1 and 2. That's what it means. All right. So what we'll do is now we know that the leader is on 0. Let's take off worker node 1, worker 0, which is a cluster worker. Uh, okay, let's go here. Let's take this and let's say kubectl get nodes. So this is now disabled. Now let's see if how our system is behaving. Let's go to it's not there. Let's go to Kafka 1 and then let's try to run this describe command again and then see what's happening. As you can see, the leader is now shifted from 0 to 1 and we have only 1 and 2 as in-sync replicas. Okay, let's also connect. I think we should have the producer. The producer is still working. So let's try to run our consumer and then we'll try to do test 2, test 3, and the data is coming. So we are good now, right? Now let's go back and take off, drain another node. I'm draining the second one, and obviously the cluster will not be in a good state. kubectl get nodes, and I say kubectl get pods -n Kafka. You can see we don't have all the pods up and running. We just have one pod. So what we'll do now is we will remove the taint on these two nodes, which is worker number 4 and worker number 5. Now let's go to kubectl get pods -add Kafka. So if I delete this pod, this will not come up as expected because this pod is bound to a PVC. When I say PVC, -n Kafka, that pod is bound to this PVC. Now, because this PVC is attached to the volume that is the PV that is already there, so this is basically bound to worker 0 or worker. This is bound to worker 1. This is bound to worker 2. So in order for everything to work, get things up and running, we'll have to remove this PVC. kubectl delete PVC Kafka 0 hyphen n Kafka, and then kubectl delete pod Kafka hyphen, I think kubectl get pods hyphen n Kafka. So Kafka 2 is down, is the only one that is available. So you'll have to delete 0 and 1, and then we'll have to delete kubectl delete pod Kafka hyphen 0 hyphen n Kafka. This will delete this pod. Now, because we have also removed the PVC, it will recreate and have regenerate a new PVC and then attach to the new pod, and then Kafka 0 and Kafka 1 will be up and running, and the new cluster will be created. Right? kubectl get pods fnn Kafka. Now it's getting terminated. Let's watch it and then see what's happening. So this is going to take some time, but again, the end goal is to remove. We have already removed broker 1 and broker 2. In our case, it is worker and worker 1. As you can see, these two nodes are taken out of the equation. We have only these three nodes in place. Now we are shifting whatever cluster, Kafka cluster that we have created to these three nodes. This is the idea for us. So Kafka 0 is up and running now. It's been 20 seconds. And now Kafka 1 is also coming up. Once that is up, we can quickly run through our topic, quickly create some messages, send some messages to our broker, to our cluster, and then see if the data is consumed by the consumer. Oh, my system is hanging. kubectl get pods hyphen n Kafka. The cluster is up and running. Now let's go back to our previous steps where we would want to connect to my this is my Kafka 0, and I'm listing if my topic is available. Yes, my topic is available. Now what I'll do is I'll try it. I'll check if the producer is available. Okay. Now we have the producer. So this is a consumer. Let's run the consumer here on 1, and let's connect to 0, and then let's produce some data here. Okay. These new messages on new nodes. Send the message, new message on new nodes. This is received. Now, just in case if you want to get all the messages that are available in the cluster, on the topic, you can run this. This will bring the entire data that is available in this topic, which we have generated from the start.